If you've got a headache right now, then this is the video for you. Here's what you can do for some quick headache relief. First of all, tension headaches, what are they? Well, they're probably the most common type of headache. It usually feels like a band around your head, which is causing that pain. And it usually is relieved when those stressful conditions are relieved or the concentration levels are reduced that are causing it as well. Okay, so if you're watching this video, I take it you probably most likely have a headache going on at the moment. If you do have a tension type headache, the first tip that I'm going to tell you, which is the number one easiest thing to do to give you some relief, involves 2 tennis balls and a sock, okay? If you have them at home, great, you're really gonna find this helpful, okay? So what you do, you get 2 tennis balls, put them in a nice clean sock, lie down on the floor, okay? Lie down and place the tennis balls behind your neck. Next thing you need to do is just move your head, rock it forwards and backwards if you're lying down, or you can move it side to side just gently so it massages that area, okay? This technique can really give people a lot of relief from a tension headache pretty much straight away. So if it is a tension headache, I want you to try that first, okay? It's probably one of the easiest and best things to do. If you don't have a tennis ball at home, or if you don't have a sock at home that's clean, you can also give yourself a self-massage, okay? It's probably not as good, but you can just massage that area behind the neck, really give it a sort of rotating motion like so, and work your way up and down. This can also be really helpful. Okay, so that's the first tip done, but what other options are available? We have loads of different things that we can try. So tip number two is very easy. Go to your freezer, get a pack of frozen vegetables or whatever you have, or if you have an ice pack, even better. Wrap it in a tea towel, okay, and place it on the area. Place it on the forehead and around the side of the head. This is just gonna give us that relief. It's gonna help relax those muscles that are so tense that are causing that tension headache. You can also do this with a hot towel as well. Some people find a hot towel more useful. So see which one works better for you, okay? Some people prefer the colder sort of ice. Some people prefer the hot. I prefer the cold, but then again, everyone's a little different. Now moving on to tip number 3. Tip number 3 is relaxation, okay? If you've had a busy, stressful day and you've got that tension headache going on, first thing you need to do, switch off those lights, okay? Switch off those lights, switch off those electronics, close your laptop, turn your TV off, turn your phone off, everything. Turn it all off and close and relax, okay? Even close your eyes for a bit as well. This can really help just to relax things. And if you want, take a little nap, take a 10-20 minute nap, okay? A little power nap, just so you're not feeling too groggy. Because if you sleep too much, then you are gonna feel very groggy. So 10-20 minute little quick nap, or even if your eyes are just shut for 10 to 20 minutes, this can really help cause that relaxation and help with the tension headache. Okay, so moving on to tip number 4. Tip number 4 is a bit of a tricky one, okay? Because too much of it is a bad thing, and a little bit of it is actually a good thing for a headache, and that is caffeine, okay? Caffeine constricts our blood vessels around our head, okay? So if you haven't had any caffeine on the day, consider having a small cup of coffee, a bit of tea, something like that, or even a bit of green tea or something like that. It's just gonna get a bit of caffeine into our system and it's gonna help with the tension headache. The opposite is though, if you're having too much caffeine, that can cause the opposite effect and actually cause a headache as well, okay? So think to yourself, actually I've had 6 cups of coffee today, so that's probably what's causing it, okay? So too much caffeine is a bad thing, a little bit of caffeine is actually a good thing. And moving on to tip number 5. Tip number 5 is all about medication, okay? In terms of medication, what do I recommend? Well, paracetamol and ibuprofen are really good for tension headaches, okay? But the most important thing that you need to remember is taking it early, okay? I can't emphasize on this point enough. When you feel like you've got a headache coming on, when you feel like you've got a migraine coming on, anything like that, a tension headache, anything, take it early, okay? Don't wait until your symptoms are really bad. Take it as soon as possible so it gets in your system and can give you that relief, okay? The other thing that you need to consider as well is certain different formulations can get into your system faster, okay? For example, dispersible tablets, liquids, okay? That sort of stuff can get into your system a lot quicker than, let's say, a tablet, because it needs to come to your stomach, then it needs to break and disperse and slowly absorb, so bear that in mind as well. And lastly, always speak to a healthcare professional before buying any medications, before you buy paracetamol, ibuprofen, anything like that. Let them know so they can take a history, they can make sure that you're safe and suitable to take that medication. Always read the information leaflet that comes with it. That is the most important thing, because your safety is the most important thing. Okay, so now we're done with the treatment options for the tension headache, okay? I'm trying to make this quick because I know you like this information quickly but thorough at the same time. The next thing I want to talk about is prevention, okay? It's much better to prevent getting a tension headache than getting it in the first place. So let's talk about those tips. Okay, so let's begin with tip number 1. Tip number 1 is, are you hydrated? Are you drinking enough water? Are you drinking enough fluids, basically, okay? Remember, all fluids count to hydration, okay? This includes tea, coffee, Fizzy drinks, orange juice, water, all of them count. Soup, all of them count. Food has it in it as well, by the way. So, I want you to make sure that you are staying hydrated. The reason I'm telling you this is if you're dehydrated, your brain shrinks. And it pulls away from the skull. When it pulls away from the skull, it can cause these tension headache type symptoms, okay? So staying hydrated in the first place may prevent the headache from coming on. So definitely think about that one. Now in terms of how much fluid should you be drinking, you should be drinking about 6 to 8 glasses a day of water, okay? But remember, other drinks contribute to it as well, so bear that in mind. Now, let's move on to tip number 2. Tip number 2 is making sure you're not getting eye strain, okay? If you have to wear glasses, wear your glasses, okay? If you're constantly straining to do tasks, to read things, to read the monitor, okay? Go and see your optician, because all of this can potentially be causing the headache in the first place. Also, make sure you're taking breaks from work. If you're constantly sat in front of a computer, like that one, okay, and typing away and doing your work and not taking a break, it's gonna cause that strain, okay? And that strain is gonna bring on that headache, and we don't want the headache. Moving on to tip number 3, make sure you are well fed, okay? Make sure you're not starving yourself and your blood glucose levels aren't dipping down to those bottom levels, okay? Because if it is, that can actually bring on headaches as well. And especially when you're working and you're doing things and you forget about if you've eaten, or you keep pushing it on further and further before you eat. So make sure you have set times to eat, so those blood sugar levels, those blood glucose levels aren't dropping down too low, because that might be causing it in the first place. Moving on to tip number 4. Tip number 4 is all about relaxation. You need to make sure you are not stressing, okay, too much, because if you're doing it too much, you're gonna be releasing loads of adrenaline, and it's gonna make you tense. It's gonna tense those muscles, gonna tense the muscles around the face, and it's gonna potentially cause that tension headache. So we need to make sure we have relaxation techniques in place. Thankfully, I already have quite a few videos on different styles of relaxing and reducing stress levels, so I'd highly recommend watching them if you're someone who knows that you're getting stressed out a lot more often, okay? I'll leave a link to it up here and in the description below. And tip number 5, make sure you are getting enough sleep. I know it sounds basic, but if you are not getting enough sleep, your body doesn't have enough time to refresh the brain, basically, okay? When we sleep, our brain actually gets cleaned and refreshed during that time, okay? That's the best way to look at it. It's like when you've had your computer open for a long time and it's getting really slow because you never switch it off and give it a full restart, okay? And then after you restart it, it's all super fast again, okay? The brain's kind of like that, but a lot more tricky, okay? But we need to make sure we're getting enough sleep. So you need to be getting 8 hours of sleep and good quality sleep, okay? If you don't know what good quality sleep is, it's gonna be quite a long video if I go through it in this video, but it's making sure that you're sleeping at the right time. It's making sure that you're doing the right thing, so it's high quality sleep, and your body will thank you for that, okay? Lack of sleep has been shown to increase headaches, migraines, tension headaches, everything like that, okay? So make sure you're getting enough sleep. If you're someone who struggles to get enough sleep, if you want more information on good quality sleep, I know I keep plugging videos right now, but it's otherwise going to make this video really long if I talk about them. So I have lots of videos on them topics already on sleep, how to get better quality sleep, and I'll leave it up here and in the description below. So it looks like we've come to the end of this week's video. Please remember there are times where you should seek medical attention for a headache, and I'm going to leave loads more information in the description below. As I always say at the end of every single video, always remember you're awesome, and I will see you next week. If you feel like a headache is coming on, if you feel like that... I did not expect that. Oh God, it's so hot in here. Tomorrow is apparently one of the hottest days in the UK. It's going to be 40 degrees, and it's definitely already getting there. Super, super hot. Thankfully I have very big hands and it acts like a little fan thing.